actually are playing for a little bit of something here in this first round, which is kind of exciting. I like when we're playing for stakes. Well, not like edible steaks, but stakes. Yeah, it's also interesting too to see how many people. Like the interesting thing about these mythic qualifiers is that for this one, I think it counts the last 2 months because I don't think there was a qualifier in between. So you have people who could have qualified within 2 different months. You also have people who qualified only playing draft. They didn't play any constructed. And then you have people who qualified only playing historic and haven't played any standard. So I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I don't even know how many people participating or potentially participating even played any significant amount of standard and then have been prepping standard. I've seen 2 people on stream recently who qualified, but they've simply been playing historic. So, I mean, we're 5 days away, effectively, and they've not done any standard prep. So, I have no idea what this is going to look like. Oh, nice. You got the diamond already. Awesome, awesome. This is not ideal knowing this is here, because unfortunately, if they have a red land, we're likely going to lose 2 creatures to a silly giant. So what I'd like to do here is just play this. So this is we're at least somewhat protected from a giant a little bit. Oh, this is interesting, because if we were to get another land, we could almost... Well, no, we'd only still be able to play... We have to take this, because that's the only combination where we'd be able to play Inspiring Veteran, Knight of the Ebon Legion, and then Fervent Champ all in the same turn. As if we get one more land, so... One more land of any kind should allow us to do that. But this really keeps us a little bit protected, so if they want to kill something, they only really get to kill Stormfist Crusader. Oh, okay. Well, they're going to go this route. We might just get a real big turn here. Come on, land. That is not the... Well, yeah, that still works. Okay. We will go with this as one of them. Also, we'll end up protected from a giant at the end of this turn. Then we're going to go with this. And we're going to get in there for big piles of damage. Now the only way this sucks is if the opponent has 2 giants. But even then, they kill 1, 2, 3. Or they get their choice of killing 1, 2, 3, maybe. Oh yeah, if this was the opponent's doing, we're all set. I mean, they could kill this and this. Oh, well, they can kill 2 things. They can go 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're going to get more red lands. So I guess if they have 2 giants, they could kill like 4 things then. Well, 3 things. Oh gosh, did he have just those in giants? If so, we're, for lack of a better term, F'd in the A, folks. Well, you only got 1 red mana. And he already played a land for the turn. So I think we're safe. Yeah, I don't know what all that was about. If it wasn't going to end in 4 untapped lands to be able to kill a bunch of creatures, like that was so weird. Yeah, I don't know what really just happened there. Alright, so we know what the opponent's doing. I don't, man, it's weird. Like, Duress is actually no good for us unless you get it on turn 1 or 2 to try to get their Clover. Otherwise, I don't think they have anything we want to get. So, I'm willing to play these just because they're still a body if worse comes to worse. And then I guess Giant Killers, because there's a good chance they're going to have Questing Beasts. We know they have the big giant, and then they've got or Beanstalk Giant, and then they've got very likely... Lovestruck Beast. So we can hit all of those with a Giant Killer. We also want these. Because there's also a chance you're going to get to kill something like a innkeeper. And I'm very tempted to try Legion's End. But they look like they were just Teamer. I don't know how many small 1-drops there are other than the innkeeper. And I don't want to end up with too many dead cards. But we're on the draw. So let's go one less of those. We're going to be a little less aggressive here since we're on the draw, not the play. I feel like we could probably do with one less claim contender. And really, sadly, probably riding Registar, because we're going to have a few defensive cards we're going to get caught holding here. Let's just see what happens. I mean, we had a good run yesterday. We went 8-2, which was huge. I mean, that basically took us from the bottom end of Platinum up to being one step away from Diamond. So that was pretty sweet. Yeah, that's better, but not great. Let's... I guess we could get rid of the swamp? No, we probably need more black sources than red, and this still leaves us 2 red. Yeah, that's fine. Also, I don't know if you all noticed, I got a little bit of backlighting to myself here as of yesterday to try something out a little different. Trying to be a little classy, you know. Tried doing a couple other colors, but they don't show up as well. The red actually looks pretty sweet behind us, though. Really digging that. This is unfortunate, because we know when we play this is going to die to a Bone Crusher Giant, right? Like, literally, I know that's going to happen. So I'm actually just going to pass and see if the opponent shoots us with the Bone Crusher, if they just hold it. Oh, well, that's worse. I actually drew that. Because they would have just played that the first turn. Good news is, Aurelia has a big butt, so... I think I'm just going to do this. Because I want to play the Bone Crusher, because even if they have a Bone Crusher in hand, which we're assuming they do, because that's why we played the way we did the previous turn, they're going to take damage to kill our Bone Crusher Giant, so I'm down with that. Then if they don't, we Aurelia Bone Crusher, and he's going to be a 6-power trampler, so I'm okay with that. What's the reason for the deck change-up? There's a couple of issues. One was that there were people playing enough anti-black and red cards in Rakdos straight up, and some of the damage was becoming a little bit difficult to overcome. But with this, we get a few creatures that are a little bit bigger as far as like a claim contender being a 3/3, and Aurelia giving us some interesting reach, I guess you want to call it that, and actually also being big enough on defense that it can do a lot of blocking as well. I have a feeling... Uh-oh, are these getting picked up? Is that what's about to happen? Yep. Alright, fair enough. Sure, why not? But I'm not totally giving up on Rakdos just yet. I mean, I'm still willing to give it another shot as the days roll on here. Oh, weird. I mean, the opponent's cards they got kind of sucked against us, but... Alright. I mean, our hand wasn't bad. We were just about to play a Stormfist and then play a claim contender and then just start setting ourselves up after that. But, alright. It's not pretty, but I'll take it. I mean, we tiered up, so it's harder to look. We can get away with more experimentation now because we can't drop any lower. Let me mark that on our sheet. I will take that. It's a weird way to get a 1-0, but, so, yeah. But yeah, the other issue, too, is that and this answers partialness's question about why the deck change is that even toward the end of, I mean, it's still the same season, but I guess at the end of last month, I was still interested in the Knights deck, but I just didn't ever feel like I could find, like, I kept feeling like there was a card that was missing and I didn't know what it was. And I think the way the lists were set up, it was two things. It was the lack of reach, being able to go a little bit over the top, extend out that game just a little bit longer. No, excuse me. And then I guess also not having quite enough damage sources to either remove threats or punch through to set a little bit of extra damage. And I think that's where this whole thing with like Aurelia and stuff came in from, where I just started thinking like, what could we do? What type of knobs could I turn? And that's where we landed. Do we want to play this just so Teferi has to tick down? I mean, they'll get a card, but they can get a card anyway if they desperately wanted it. Alright, sure. I mean, we're really just going to hope to pick up a Fervent Champ to just kill Teferi, but whatever. That looks nothing like what we want, actually. That's actually disappointing. Super, super sad. Well, this is the matchup we know is already bad, so we'll just see what happens here. I mean, I guess the good news is we're not totally without. I mean, we do have Aurelia and some other things, and those decks don't tend to play a lot of spell counters just because they have fires. But they already got fires early, so we're probably just going to have to pack it up here. Oh, really? Just Justice Strike? No, like, Big Fatty or anything there? That feels weird. Okay then. I mean... Sure. Not even sure what we're looking for. Probably another Fervent Champ.
I won't let you win. No, I am not.
I mean, I assume the opponent already has the fatties they need in hand, though, right? I mean, I guess we could get lucky and get off some big Embercleave here, but I can't imagine that's going to be the case. Yeah, this matchup's always tough. Especially game one. Like, we did manage to beat some the other night, but, like, game ones are really hard with this deck. Because you almost have to draw... Because game one, we're not playing a bunch of removal for big things. So, and Murderous Rider is one of the cards I'm thinking about going to a third or fourth copy of, by the way. But you almost just kind of have to just play it and hope for the best. I mean, they attack for 15, sure. I mean, I don't think we could beat them, even if we play this. That's going to make this a 3, 4, 5. Embercleave makes it 6. That's 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that's not going to be nearly enough. But, I mean, no blocks. I mean, it's possible. I guess we can get... Nah, we didn't draw any removal for the flyer. Because, like, that was our other out, right? We get a removal for a flyer, hope they don't have something to deal 3 damage. So, yep. No deal. But for this matchup, another card I'm considering trying, believe it or not, is actually Gideon's Sacrifice. It's another one that's on my list right now. I want Hushbringer in this matchup so badly, but he just like... The problem is, like, it stops their Cavaliers and stuff from doing anything, but then after that, it literally just is there, right? So... The thing it does is good, but then it's just the rest of the game, it can't punch through because it's just staring at like this Cavalier Gales doing nothing, just staring in the face. Man, I don't really like getting rid of any of these cards. And see, this is a matchup where I don't mind having Embercleave stay in the deck post sideboard because they're playing so few spell counters that it usually works out. Oh boy, what are we doing here? Don't have too much time. Let's see. Already take out an acclaim contender. I don't know if Aurelia even matters in this matchup. I think if we're in a situation where we need Aurelia to win, we're probably already in trouble. And it might just... Well, I don't know. Aurelia could survive a sweeper, though, right? Let's leave one in. And... I don't know. Get rid of one of these. Because we're kind of going to be living on the giant killers anyway, I'd imagine. So let's see. I think that's a bad sideboard plan there. I really need to think about this some more. I probably need to reach out to some of my more competitive friends these days and see what they think about that. Man, it's tough knowing your opponent has a thing where your creature's gonna take 3 damage, but let's do it. I mean, you kind of just hope they don't have it. If they have it, we're just wrecked. I mean, they're getting to scry 3 cards, so... And they left 1 on top, 2 on bottom, so there's a good chance we're kind of going to be in trouble anyway. But I'm a believer in you still just got to make them have it at some point, you know? I mean, it's possible they kept the hand because they had the proper lands and Teferi or something. Or maybe they had 2 lands of this. The card they kept on top was a land, and then they're just going to drop Teferi on them. Which, if that's what happens, that's not the worst thing, actually. They want to... Bone Crusher? Sure. We'll put this in tapped. I mean, this is kind of the downside of this hand, though. I mean, getting another Embercleave does not help us. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and play this just because it sets us up to be able to Embercleave next turn. I mean, we're still going to get our creatures wiped, but now at least when we draw another creature, we can immediately put an Embercleave on it, most likely. If they don't have anything, then they just die here soon. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Alright, here comes Fires, which leads to... Yep, that's what we thought. There's the Clarion. Ooh, this is interesting, though. Okay, I'll take the damage. I mean, if they have the creatures to kill us, they just have the creatures to kill us, so be it. And we didn't have enough to play the Bone Crusher and Equip anyway this turn. But now if they target the Bone Crusher, they at least go down to 4. Though if they have Red Cavalier and something, we just die. Because they can pump, give haste. We have to block, and then we have nothing to attack with. Yep, and there we go. So that's pretty much going to be it. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't draw any Murderous Riders. We didn't draw any Giant Killers, so wasn't a lot we could do. Because the ideal situation here would have been to sit with the Bone Crusher Giant in hand, shoot the opponent for 2, keep the Giant Killer up, be able to take out a creature, and then maybe try to put something together next turn. monthly, but going to be more than once a month. Giveaways that we do just for our subscribers. So it doesn't matter if you're free or paid. Both count just the same. Alright, so it's 1-1, and one of the matches we lost last night was also 2 fires, so... Again, I mean, though, that time we didn't really draw anything. Our hand wasn't even... It wasn't a fast aggro hand, and it wasn't even a good defensive hand. We kind of got the worst of both sides there. Man, we are not drawing well, but I think we have to keep this, unfortunately. Just hope for the best here. Oh man, we're playing against that. We're not going to get any... Without having an early creature, there's no way we should win this. Oh man, they are hard up to make sure we don't do anything. Cool by me. Oh, because that's not what this is. I see, says the blind man. This is totally different. I thought it was going to be some type of Simic deck we were staring at. But how wrong I was. Alright, so this becomes interesting, because I may just discard the Acclaim Contender here to play Aurelia and attack with the Rotting Regisaur. Though, I don't know, they could have another Brazen Bar or something. They did not pick up a Brazen Bar, so they'd have to find one. So, with 6 mana, assume they're going to have 7 mana. They're going to spend their turn playing a land, playing Clover, and then some unknown cards we know nothing about. Only get rid of Contender. Well, yeah, because there's a chance we draw stuff like that. But our hand's going to be a little thin anyway, and we're likely going to be trying just to play Embercleave here and finish the opponent next turn. But attacking with the Regisaur for 9 is kind of sweet too. Now the opponent's incentivized to play flyers or get an additional Brazen Bar to bounce both of these. I mean, at least 2 of their mana is going to be on Clover, I'm pretty certain. And then I guess they could play the other Beanstalk Giant, which would get them 2 more land. So they trade 3 for 2, which leaves them 4 mana. And they could double Bone Crusher Giant, but that doesn't necessarily kill anything. So they could search with the Fae of Wishes and then maybe do something with whatever they find. But that's going to take all their mana. So this is definitely a spot where Aurelia has payoffs for us. Interesting that they opted to just play that and come after our face instead of putting something in the way of our other creatures. Which tells me there's probably a Brazen Bar in our future. Okay, let's see. If they have a Brazen Bar, they're going to pick up both of our dudes, right? So let's just assume we're not going to Embercleave. That's not awful. I don't hate that. And then doing this kind of puts the onus on opponent to do something a little bit different. And then we'll put the extra damage here. And then just see what the opponent does. Yep, that's what we thought. Oh, they're picking that up. Interesting. Alright. I mean, I guess their plan from here is going to be play 2 Brazen Borrowers and block the Aurelia. Which, you know, if that's the case, I don't hate it. It's fine. Interesting. They didn't play the bigger Beanstalk Giant. Oh, that's really making me question what these two hidden cards are. It might just be more brazen bars. We only have 5 mana, so we don't get to have the Rotting Registrar back in play just yet. So let's go with this. And this. And we will put it on... Okay, I was going to say I was going to put it on here and then attack with everything and just see what they do, but... I guess that turned out okay. I don't know what to think about that. I think we're going to go with the plan we did when we sideboarded last time. There's a lot of Teamer adventure. We ran into it a couple of times yesterday, too. Looks like Legion's in wouldn't really have done much for us. Oh, alright. Well, we have opponents. I guess Teamer Adventures is not like playing against our deck, because our other opponent felt the same way in the last game. So, I mean, we get to count it as a win, but it's not the flashiest thing, you know? So let's go ahead and change that up there, and let's move on to the next game. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, the only downside for me is I would like the practice of playing through those matches just to see how the sideboarding decisions and stuff are playing out, because this is important information. I mean, ultimately on Saturday when I play, I mean, you have to get 10 wins before getting 2 losses, so you really need a deck that can go like... I mean, really, you need a deck that can go 10-1, right? But if they... Oh, actually, no. Yeah, it's literally just 10 wins to qualify or you don't make it. So, yeah. Before, it used to be get 10 wins, you're guaranteed for day 2. Then, I think till they get 120-some people. If they don't fill the number, they go to everybody who got 9 wins. If they're still not full, they go to everybody who got 8 wins, you know, and so on. This time, because the players all wanted, more of them wanted just one day, and they wanted a one-day event, and blah, 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 blah. They now got a tougher situation. You gotta get 10 wins or nothing. Effectively, I would think 9 should still suffice, but hey, I don't make the rules. And it's hard to complain, really, because, you know, your goal is to do well in this event to get to play against the best players, and, you know, if that means you have to get some really high records, you know, then I guess so be it. We'll just do what we do. Yeah, and then we just attack. End the turn. You know what's funny? I really should have done this during their upkeep. I was thinking about it, and I should have put a stop and done that. And so that way they couldn't... Yeah, because you knew they were going to have a 3-mana counter, right? So it's really just a mistake on my part. I'll get Stormfist Crusader. That seems like it's probably going to be decent in this match. Assuming we don't end it quickly somehow with like an Embercleave or something. Alright, there's a Gadwick. We can at least kill him. So, though annoying, he is not that problematic. Though it's curious, right? Like, does the opponent care to block? They may not. I mean, alright. Let's just do this. I mean, the worst case scenario, we lose the Fervent Champ, right? So then the question here becomes, do we want to Embercleave and then lose the Fervent Champ, or do we just want a Bone Crusher Giant? I think Bone Crusher Giant is the answer. Because we don't have many other spots we're going to get to use this. Because no matter what, if we Embercleave something, it was strictly going to be the Fervent Champ. just to make sure we kill Gadwick, because there's no play where we just leave him on the table, and that was going to be acceptable. Alright, what's the opponent up to here? Okay. Brazen bars, sure. We'll put this into play. And I guess this. And then we'll just play Inspiring Veteran Stormfish Crusader next turn. Okay, well they're not going to play a sweeper most likely, or they wouldn't have played that. Unless they just want the 3 damage and then time wipe, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Oh, really is an interesting pickup. How many cards do they have? They have 2 cards left in their hand? Why would you do that to me, Auto Tapper? Oh, we can only play one or the other because we only have one. We either... Oh, well, that is definitely a problem. That is a thing we don't like. And we can't even play Aurelia at all. That's unfortunate. Oh, the mana did not work out at all this game. Well, maybe they'll try to play Gadwick and we can just kill it. It's a fairy. Not quite the same.
This isn't a fight you can win. Oh, I've done the hero thing.
Sure. Don't really want to use it on him, but whatevs. Yeah, these decks have been playing Dovin's Veto lately, which is interesting. I don't think I like it or hate it.
Let's try this.
Man, we just did not get the right mana. That's actually crushing us this game. Man, that hurts. Just having the wrong mana sucks. Because otherwise, I actually felt pretty good about this hand. I mean, especially having Inspired Veteran and Aurelia. But, yeah, no deal. Mass manipulation. Boo. Alright, let's move along.
I'll protect you.
I'm like, I'm not even going to mess around with that. Like, yeah, missing a second relevant creature drop on those last 2 turns does matter quite a bit there. Alright, here we don't really have much that's going to matter in this match. There's a good chance they're going to bring in the, I think it's the Elite Guard Mage. So we can go with that, and then we could go with Duresses, but otherwise there's not a lot for us to bring in this fight. We're kind of set up the way we're going to be. I'm going to cut a couple of Emperor Cleaves because they're not really going to be our way to victory with so many bounce spells and sweepers. In a way, Sandman, but I just look at it as... I always just look at the spells as just being the spells, because there's a lot of way to make those not resolve as creatures, right? They could bounce the target, they could kill the thing that you're targeting, they could sacrifice the thing you're targeting. So I just look at the creature half as a bonus. Which, you know, for the control player, that's still good. I don't disagree with you. Flame Contender maybe, and 1 Knight of Ebon Legion. Okay, cool, let's go with this. Just cutting 1 Knight if I have to cut a creature, just because it's the one we'd be spending mana on that's going to get bounced after it gets its counters. And we'll see. This is a little better. I'm just going to play this up front. See what the opponent does here. Looks like a lot of nothing. I guess they're just gonna opt. Nope, not even an opt. Interesting. I mean, Brazen Bar probably... Oh, no. They didn't have that there. I mean, I don't know. They may just say Brazen Bar to my upkeep and see I discard. We're just getting rid of that, though. Sure. We'll attack. I might as well pump this, right? Because, I mean... Oh, wow. Wow. Alright. I guess they're just gonna sweep her next turn. Time wipe? I mean, I assume that has to be their plan. And then they just hope I don't have a giant. Okay. That's a thing. Block here, Brazen Bar, or this. Take one. Okay, well, we're all set then. Oh, weird. Okay. That was very anticlimactic. Oh, you're right. Time wipe is 5. I don't know why I keep... I think of it as like so many of the old sweepers being 4, like Wrath of Gods and whatever. And since it's multicolor, I just think I let it get away with being 4. But I don't know. At least in my head. Yeah, I think we kind of go with this the same. I don't think there's really much of a change. I mean, we're still playing 30 creatures. I mean, only so much you can do before it just becomes silly, right? This is the opponent's main creature. Or count. Ooh. I kind of like this. Okay, so the plan here to be as efficient as possible. Oh, well, scrap that idea. We're going to go with this. Mostly because there's nothing we're really concerned about the opponent having on turn 2 unless they want to use a Dovin's Veto on a Duress. Which, I don't know, they might. Okay. Oh, and they don't even have... They only have Blast Zone. Huh. Okay. And they don't have enough land yet, so they'd have to draw the land, and it would have to be another blue source to be able to play Absorb. So we're actually incentivized to take Teferi here. And then knowing what we know, really not even play the Knight of the Ebon Legion yet. Just so the Blast Zone can't get rid of both our creatures if they get stuck in a turn or 2. Oh, that's cute. The Apostle doesn't do anything to this guy. And knowing what we know, Apostle also doesn't do anything to this guy. Ooh, whoa, that's tempting. That's so tempting. I think I'm just gonna, I mean, taking Fervent Champ doesn't necessarily help. I'm gonna take Embercleave. And then I guess at this point, the opponent's kind of just on notice. I mean, they have white sources. They can't counter, so... Unless they picked up... Oh, no, we know all their cards, so yeah. Whatever. Ah, they had a giant killer. Yep. Forgot. Alright, that's fine. Not really that worried about it, though. Mostly because of what's in our hand. And we get to equip for free, which is just a cute bonus. Now the question just is, will the opponent block? I bet they're not going to, truthfully. Wouldn't make any sense. I wouldn't if I were them. Okay, they found a brazen bar. Let's go ahead and... Actually, let me attack particularly just so this can't wreck us. And then we don't really lose much momentum this turn, because we can just play this again and equip. And then I'm still holding on to this brazen or this bone crusher giant so we can kill the apostle if we really want to. Cute. Okay. So opponents still, let's see, they could draw cards. They could technically play that next turn if they want to. Then it picks that up. So I think this is what we want to do. Force the opponent into a play a little bit here. And the opponent doesn't want to sack the land. I guess they figure they need to have the land to either draw cards or time wipe us next turn, so fair enough. The plan now is if the opponent opts to time wipe, then we play this during their end step. We equip, attack for 8, put them at 2, and then we're kind of living off Bone Crusher Giant. Because now that Embercleave's already on the table, I don't think the opponent has an effective way to stop it except for bouncing it with Brazen Bar, which is kind of fine. Sure, I'll just take 2. Otherwise, you just sack a land and kill my Fervent Champ, so that's silly. We're at 6. I mean, I guess they have a small concern that if we draw a Fervent Champ, we could Fervent Champ equip, attack for 4. I don't think there's anything oh, yeah, that's all the mana we need, actually. That's just game. I was thinking we're going to have to do it next turn, but that's Xaxes. Look at that. And the funny thing is, we didn't even draw like our Duresses and stuff. We just did it the hard way. Sometimes. I don't know what to say. Like, it's weird when that stuff happens that way to me. Alright, so that brings us to 3-1. And the good news is these games are fast. We're just like clicking through them. Alright, getting some cards we need, but yeah, we're well done with filling this thing before Theros came out, so I think 110 was the level cap, and we're at 117. And I don't think I did anything special. I paid the initial, like, whatever it is, 14 or 15 bucks to get the additional options and the bonus packs and stuff, but that's about it. Which, by the way, I think that's a pretty good deal. If I were players, I would just pay that every season because you get extra cards, you get extra packs, whatever. So like, it's totally worth it to me. And you can mostly do it by just doing your dailies. You don't have to do anything special. Gross. Going to 5. Well, this is significantly better. Alright, Ember Cleave's for sure going away. Boy. I want to keep a claim contender, but not knowing what we're up against, I'd rather have the removal card than the thing to replenish our hands. Oh, we might actually get to be playing against Rakdos for the first time in forever. Go figure that. Oh, nope. This is just mono red. Doing mono red things. With Cavalcade. Alright. We're going to be taking some damage, y'all. Think I'm gonna do this. There's a chance this isn't gonna live anyway, so I don't really have a problem throwing it out there. However, if it does get to block something here, well, that's a fantastic bonus. We'll block there because that does more damage to us that we hit. Alright, this sucks because we have to do damage to ourselves here, but, well, do we? No, we don't. Well, does the opponent have more Fervent Champ? I don't think they have more Fervent Champs unless they just drew it, because they would have played the Fervent Champ on 2 and attack us before instead of sitting there with a Scorch Spitter. So, I'm gonna go... You know what? F it. No guts, no glory. I mean, if I'm be taking damage from my own guy, we're effectively only at 7 anyway, so... Here goes. We got 2 turns, and really 2 burn spells probably wrecks us, because we can't even really use this at this point, so... It is what it is. Can we go to 6 and not die somehow? I really probably just be saving that to block, honestly. I think we're just going to die to our own damn creature, but, let's see what happens. I mean, here comes Torbrand, right? Nope, Scorch Spitter. Alright, fair. From my Steamkin, fair. I mean, we're going to take enough just from Cavalcade to die next turn, truthfully. Mizium tank. Oh, man. Alright, yeah, I think we're dead next turn. Because they'll be able to burn all the counters off these, most likely. I mean... There's an off chance playing this could help save us. Just as a blocker. I mean, we definitely can't afford to take any more damage. So that's not even a real question. So we put this in tapped. And then in a weird way, If we were to draw an Embercleave and don't die here somehow, we could still possibly win, depending on how this attack step goes. But I mean, opponent has 4 mana, 3 cards. Well, yeah, there's a Scorch Bitter. So yeah, we're definitely dead now. Yep. I didn't think there was a chance we were going to get away with it, but had to try. I mean, unfortunately, we drew all shock lands against the red deck, so what else do you think is going to happen? Alright, so there's a lot of things happening here. We're actually just going to go low to the ground here, is going to be the plan. So we want Legion's End. Kind of want Duresses because it actually stops burn spells and other things, but I'm not going to go with that. Hushbringer actually has lifelink. It's a thing people forget about. I'm going to bring these in because 1, they're bodies, and 2, you can actually stop things apparently like Mizium Tank that the opponent's playing. And then we're just going to take out a lot of the big, slow, dumb things. So even though opponents have like a hard time dealing with Riding Registrar, we're just going to get rid of it. Embercleaves, we don't necessarily need those to win this match, so those are going to come out. And probably even a Stormfist Crusader. Probably even 2, honestly. I don't think that's gonna be our real plan here. And then we actually end up with more creatures. We're going all creatures effectively. And even on the Giant Killer, we're just gonna play it as a 1/2 creature, because that stops a big chunk of what they're playing. So we just want to be throwing stuff in the way, and then if it happens to slow the opponent down, then we'll take that as a bonus. We'll keep this because we can cast everything almost effectively but the Bone Crusher Giant, so let's go for it. Opponent didn't have anything for us, huh? That's peculiar. Okay. On game. And then it's possible, depending on what they play, we still just like play a Black Lance Paragon into their turn. Alright. Mostly because we can Legions in that and just see what happens. Oh, that makes this turn even better. Well, Legions in. Maybe we get more Runaway Steamkin. We do not. Oh, we do. Fantastic. They have that. Okay, alright, alright. Don't hate it. And we get to pump this guy up too? Sure. I mean, really, the all-creature plan is the best thing I have about this. Yeah, you're right. Disenchant probably is a better, or some Disenchant variant probably works. I'm with you there, Sandman. I could respect that. We know their hand. They don't have, unless that hidden card is a Torbrand. We don't really care. Because I'm just thinking at this point, even if it's a Torbrand, well, nah. We'll just leave it at this. Because it's going to be too hard for the opponent to kill the knight at this point anyway. Because this thing's a sorcery. Oh, no, it's an instant, actually. Okay. Well, that's good to know. We have less cards in hand than the opponent, so if he attacks, it doesn't really do anything. And if they want to not have a blocker... Oh, I see. Well, it's possible they were just attacking to try to light up the stage. So no point to let that happen. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still doesn't kill the opponent, so... Not really going to go there. And then we're just going to play this as a creature. And then I'm pretty sure the opponent's just dead here. Yeah, in my experience, it's really just been the answer with these small decks. Same thing when I was playing Rakdos. It was just bring in as many threats as you could. Was really just the plan. Just keep shoving things in the way and don't even worry about the big end game, because the big end game likely isn't going to get there anyway. Alright, so I'm going to go one less shield breaker, and I am going to bring in Regisaurs here. Just so, in this situation, if we do end up behind for some reason, we at least can slow the opponent down and then just try to push it back the other way a little bit. But yeah, I think you're right, Sandman. We can experiment and at least see if there's other things that destroy artifacts or enchantments, or both, and then have those as options. Because it also ends up being a little more flexible if you want to have something against like Fires of Invention, right? Alright, we'll keep this. Looks like we're going to have some Fervent Champs on defense, just the first strikers, which is a silly battle you get into sometimes against red decks, but it's fine. They have so many 1 toughness creatures, you kind of have to. And if they spend mana to take out your creature, you don't really care. Because then it's just a straight trade that benefits you more than it does them. Actually, gonna do this and leave the mana open. Mostly because it gives us the option of killing a thing and then still being able to possibly play this next turn if we draw land. Goodness. Alright, we're just going to kill this guy. I mean, we can trade with Scorch Bitters for a while. Like, even if a PowrDragn comes out, it just lets him deal double damage, but if you first strike him out, it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to play that and pass. Chandra's going to be annoying, not going to lie. But technically we just block them if that's all they're going to attack with, sure. Oh boy, we need mana. We need mana for real. See, and the problem here is we can't really all-out attack because the opponent does happen to have something like a PowrDragn next turn. We would attack in. Even if they could potentially chump, then play PowrDragn and we take 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that damn near kill us. So, yeah, we just have to pass. It's still going to be bad. Don't get me wrong. It's still going to suck, but at least we can stop more of the pain, I guess. Alright, that's probably the best thing we could hope for. I mean, this does say the opponent's hand's pretty weak, which is nice. Which means now we can get in and try to get after Chandra. And we finally drew a land, which is also excellent. So that gives us a blocker and possibly gives us an out. Though their hand might just be another Chandra, so we got to keep that in mind too. You know, I mean, it's all we can take, but that's actually not bad. Yep, we knew one of those was around somewhere. Yep. Well, that's some bad news we didn't really want, huh? And we only have one white land, so that doesn't really help. Oh, boy. Boy. They only have one card in hand, though. Ooh, so this is a lot to figure out. Okay, so first off, I think we just attack with one of these Fervent Champs. And I'm kind of messing around here in the attack step to just put it past the opponent to kind of like question what we're doing and see if they'll bite. They probably won't. I mean, they're at 20. They shouldn't. And then, because of what we're playing against, I think I'm just going to keep the Black Lance Paragon in hand. Because there's a chance we could get 3 damage potentially out of it. Okay, why did the opponent... Do they just have 2 PowrDragns? That can't be true. They have to have something else. I'm not willing to buy that. Oh, how I would have loved to have had another land. Another black land. But this is fine, really, because we can still play 2 creatures. We can still play a Black Lance Paragon. So again, here we're going to attack here and here. The opponent still does not want to use mana for some reason, and I don't know why that is. That's a little unnerving. They may just be trying to just direct damage us twice. Which is bad, because then that means we probably should just be using this Paragon to gain some life, but I don't know. I mean, if they have it and they kill us, I'm willing to just get got. I mean, for bad play. We deserve it. Go with another Fervent Champ here. That makes the most sense, since we can at least not have to worry about our black mana situation. Alright, they didn't burn us. Unless they just drew it. Light up the stage to do it the hard way. Cavalcade. Alright, that doesn't do anything for PowrDragn. Ooh, and a Hushbringer. Alright, so we can start getting some life. The opponent's only at 14 now, though, right? So let's see. We can attack with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15? Yeah, so if we attack with everything, the opponent kind of has to block or die. Is basically what this means. So I'm going to spread the love around. But see, we have so many creatures. Alright, and then just to make sure we don't die from this. But that's the thing, though. Like, you just put enough threats out there, like the opponent, the red decks have trouble. Because they do have a lot of spells. So, they're just playing to get guys out of the way because their creatures are so small. But when you're bringing in 1/2s, 2/2s, 3/3s, it ends up being a bunch of 2-for-1s, or they're having just trade all the way down the line. And the minute they stop doing that, you're able to start pulling away a little bit. I don't blame you for rooting for Cavalcade. It's sweet. But we were able to withstand the onslaught, even with the Cavalcade, even with them getting a Chandra, alongside 3 Scorch Bitters. But again, I mean, I think sometimes you have to, I guess, think unconventionally think unconventionally in ways that your deck can compete on a different axis sometimes. Like in that case, it was nothing about going over the top and playing big or whatever. Like, I just literally cut all of the big stuff. I cut Embercleaves, I cut Aurelia, the dinosaurs, you know, whatever, and just went completely small and my removal, and that was it. It's okay, honestly. It does have a good bit of play. I'm just trying to figure out, like, one, I want to go through and look at other knights as well, because I feel like there's still something I may potentially be missing. I don't really know what yet. Brasshound, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Brood. Man, this is really tempting to try to keep, but I know better. I'll do that and get some. Oh, well, this is worse. I would have gambled with that first hand if I'd have known this is what we were going to get here. I think Whizman might be about to get a win on us here. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right, let's put this back. I kind of want to keep this Aurelia, but I know better. Problem is, we also know we're going to be down to 1 Aurelia at this point, so we got to keep that in mind. Unfortunately, we do need to take damage, so the next turn we'll be able to play Inspiring Veteran. The other thing, too, about the red deck is, remember, like, none of their stuff tramples, none of their stuff flies. I mean, you're really just worried about actual hard damage. You're worried about Cavalcade. You're worried about Torbrand. Most of the other stuff you don't even care that much about. This deck is not good for us, by the way. They can just do so much draining of life that it just becomes this long, arduous trek to try to kill them. Yeah, I try to. I try to overwhelm them a little bit, but... You know, sometimes they do just get the draw, right? You get 1 or 2 early creatures, they get their... Cavalcade, they get a Chandra, they get a couple of burn spells, and it's just like, okay, well... You know, and then maybe a Torbrand on top of it to go with it. It's like, alright, well, sometimes you do what you do. And I think that's the thing, too. I talked to too many players who are trying to just, like, stop everything from happening. And the reality is sometimes you just have to go with what you can do. I mean, that's just it sometimes. Alright, I guess we just attack with this because it's not worth attacking with anything else. I mean, I assume you block and drain me, right? With the Charming Prince? Unless they're going to try to do some, like, discard, flash, Charming Prince weird shenanigans. But, I mean, I just have lands, so whatever. And then we're still going to get drained for some damage. And then this is probably... Akaya's Wrath, and then we're regretting not having that Aurelia in hand. Man, here I probably would give my kingdom for an Embercleave. Oh, that's awful. That's super painful. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the opponent's hand doesn't appear to be great either, so... I also like when you have something like the Knight on the table because you can always, like, pump and do other things. So it doesn't automatically go to end of turn if you play a land to give away that that's all I'm holding. So it's just a little thing to be aware of whenever you're playing Arena. Okay, well, the dinosaur's nice. I guess this is where they're going to play their Murderous Rider. Oh, no, they didn't. What are we doing? Oh, I guess maybe they're waiting to see what we're going to play. All right, fine. Kill the Rotting Regisaur. Nope. Then this is Lakaya's Wrath? Okay. I was like, there's got to be something here. Well, we got nothing, opponent. It's all you. Guess I should have held on to that dinosaur, huh? Sure, you got a Corpse Knight. I'm gonna get... Oh, the way they stack doesn't paint... Oh, jeez. This is awful. Alright. That's it. We're not gonna win from there. Yeah. That's okay. That happens like once a night with the number of games we play. I mean, but this is also why I'm talking about cutting a land, because in a lot of these matchups we do end up with a lot of extra lands. Funnily enough, Hushbringer's kind of tings here. It's pretty fantastic. I think I still want some number of Embercleaves. I don't know if we need them all. Is Riding Registrar relevant here? The opponent doesn't really have any big creatures except for maybe the Angel. And they're going to have a lot of chump blockers for Riding Registrar, so I don't like that either. Black Lance Paragons are kind of bad here, unless we just want to worry about some life gain for some unknown reason. And I think we're going to go with this. Hushbringer has a chance to be huge here. It's possible we play Hushbringer and they're going to have to use Murderous Rider on it or like Wrath just to get rid of it, which is exciting. I am just going to... Just going to... I don't know. I'm going to keep this. And this is very questionable. I'm aware of that. How do I want to play these lands? I think I want to play this. And then play Fervent Champ and hope to draw something awesome. We also get temples for this deck soon. So that's kind of cool too. I don't know if I really want them, because we have so many 1-drops, but it's just neat to know they exist. There are some weird times, though. I wouldn't mind swapping a land or two for a temple in the sideboard when you're trying to play the longer game against the control decks. Yep. Oh, no. Thought they were just going to exile it or something. Charming Prince. Alright, to scry. Well, okay, fair. I'll say the life gain against us isn't a terrible choice. Actually going to... I'm just gonna let this enter tapped. I mean, the opponent's gonna block anyway, so let's just get our 3 damage in here. And then there's a off chance we get to Embercleave next turn, but let's see. I'm not banking any money on it just yet. Okay, Corpse Knight we can't Embercleave past, so that's where we're laying our hopes and dreams this turn. This gets a little better now, because if they Kaya's Wrath here, we can just play Bonecrusher Giant and possibly something else if we were to draw it. But man, we're still drawing a lot of lands. Alright, there we go. Now we have some backup, which we like. Question is, do they have Murderous Rider? And if so, do we care? Well, if they have Murderous Rider, it's less efficient for them, because this creature's going to die next turn anyway. I mean, they still trade 2 for 6, which is better. Oh, they just had Mortify. Alright, fair. Nope. I'm not going to give them anything extra. We don't have to. Just force them to deal with what's out there for the moment. Silica Bellhaunt, great. We're going to get rid of that. Ooh. Ooh. I like that too. I like that too. mean, there's a chance they're going to make us discard this Acclaim Contender too, but nope, this guy's Wrath. Sweet, sweet. Alright, that's kind of the order we were hoping things were going to happen. Now this Giant comes in, which hits harder, and they'll take 2 damage if they get rid of it, or at least if they target it. Just straight up Kai's Wrath again, alright. So be it. Alright, here's Aurelia trying to get her fight on. I mean, the deck's at least doing his part to draw threats here, so, you know, I can't be too upset. Now there's a Murderous Rider? Nope. Oh, there's just no Murderous Riders, just Mortifies in these lists. Good to know. Alright, Hero. Celebrate. Cool, cool. Well, I have good news. Let's see, they double Kaya's Wrath, so I'm gonna gamble. I mean, if they have more, they have more. I think I'll just play that this time. In some weird scenario, if we get like another Aurelia and one Ember Cleave or whatever, same turn. Hey, Frog Stomper, welcome, welcome. Today we're actually playing a Mardu Knights deck, actually. We're having some good luck. We went 8-2 last night. We're 4-1 tonight. However, though, this match could turn sour on us. This is a matchup that I don't think we are favored in by any stretch. So, this could definitely go bad here. And we're about to lose a lot of life when the opponent blocks here. Well, or maybe not. Okay, so this is 6. If the opponent doesn't do enough to stop that, yeah, we just attack with everything. But yeah, this matchup, I don't know if this particular build, but there are some other builds that I actually have considered being really bad for us, truthfully. Oh, I like this. Hopefully the opponent draws no sweeper here, because this has potential to be real good for us. And I like the fact that they did it that way, so they first strike. Like, what the opponent really should have done is swap the creatures up so one Celebrant would have lived here. And then they would have just taken 1 more damage. But, oh, they drew it. Oh, gross. How savage. Sometimes that happens. Okay, well, this is cool. Get the opponent. Play this. Pass. I mean, they'll take 2 if they try to kill it. That's cute. Kai could exile something and gain some life. Okay.
You beat me this time.
So I go to 7.
Bravo.
Amusing. Alright, let's get rid of Kaya then. Since we're both top decking. And unfortunately, I just drew quite a few. Well, I don't know. We drew a lot of more land than the opponent, too. But every creature's live at this point. Every creature's basically lethal. Oh, that one's really lethal. And we have enough to pump them even, so... Alright. Don't do it, opponent. Don't do it. Come on. Don't have it. Don't have it. Whew. That was... Ugh. And that was only game 2. That game that was a lot of attrition there that went on. Also, welcome everybody to the stream. Sorry, we're getting tied up in these games. We are playing Mardu Nights today as we're testing for the Mythic Qualifier that's coming up on Saturday. We're also on day 51 of 60 consecutive days of streaming. So I just want to say welcome to everybody. Also, if you have not gotten a code for me for something in Arena yet, let me know and I will try to dig something up for you. Because I have a few codes still left. Yeah, that was a fun game, honestly, because it could have went either way there toward the end. The only thing I'm trying to figure out is, I mean, because stuff like, cool, the gamer will put you in the queue. I will take care of you after this match. Dang. Because I kind of want the Rotting Regisaurs, but... I didn't get the Hushbringer, so I have no idea how good they really are in this matchup. I mean, I feel like they're really good, but... Oh, boy. Maybe we just leave the deck as is. And I still want Aurelias, because they can go over the top, and they block almost everything that the opponent plays. Noxious Grasp kills almost all their creatures. Alright, we're just gonna leave it. I can't convince myself to make changes. This is tough. Oh, that is not the type of hand we needed to open with. Definitely a mulligan. Oh, alright, alright. Alright, let's try it. We got a Hushbringer. Let's see. Man, I like Embercleave here a lot, but Aurelia might just be better. I haven't gotten a code this year. Well, I don't have a ton, so check with me after, like, 2 or 3 weeks after Theros, and I may have some more that I can give to people who've already gotten some previously. Alright, if they have a removal card, they're just going to have to waste it on this Hushbringer. I always love when the opponents have to hover over your cards just to read them. Because you know this is getting a Mortify, right? Oh, it didn't. Interesting. Alright. I guess they're just gonna... Kaya's Wrath, I guess. Yeah, what were they waiting for? I mean... I can't imagine you were gonna do something else there. Yeah, I'm glad we got him to use the Mortify, because I'm going to try to come in with Aurelia now if we can. Corpse Knight's just when something comes into play, so sure. Well, that didn't work out at all. That was definitely not my ideal situation, so let's just do this. And I guess we're just going to be the aggro deck here. The opponent can double block, and we'll probably just kill Celebrant. No, we'll probably kill Corpse Knight. Makes more sense. Let's see, when a creature dies, when a creature comes into play, what do we care about more? Probably when the creature... I think this is more problematic. I think. Yeah, I think so. Because we're just going to be an attrition fight at some point, so that's probably the best play. That could hurt later. Cute. The opponent doesn't think I'll block. I don't know who the opponent thinks he's playing against, but I don't mind blocking. And since you already know I have the Bone Crusher Giant, feel free to take some damage to kill it. Ooh, and they don't have Kaya's Wrath mana, so that's pretty sweet for us. This is Doomfortold stuff. Okay. Not sure how I feel about that. Alright, well, we have to, I guess, at least get 2 creatures onto the table here. And give the opponent the opportunity to Kaya's Wrath. Oh, they just get rid of Doomfortold because they don't actually have the opportunity. So now they can Kaya's Wrath. If they have another white. If they don't, then they're going to be trying to find a way to kill our creatures here. Yeah, games are going pretty well, I would say. You know, as good as they were yesterday. And yesterday we went 8-2, so, you know, maybe we can keep it up. We are letting them draw into potentially a Kaya's Wrath as well. So, I think I'm going to sit on this Aurelia because it could be sort of a finisher. We'll take one of those. That's all we can take. Let's see if they've got another Mortify, which they might. Yep. Alright, let's end the turn. I mean, obviously they're waiting to use a Kaya's Wrath at some point, so we don't want to make it easy for them. They're scrying, they put one on top, one on bottom. I'm going to assume that was a Plains, most likely. I think that's safe. I'm going to use this because we at least get to look at the opponent's hand. To see the Plains, I'm assuming. Yep, so there's a Plains with 1, 2 Kaya's Wrath, and a Basilica Bellhaunt. Alright, so this lets us make some educated decisions at least. So if they Kaya's Wrath next turn, we can play these 2. Then if they Kaya's Wrath again, we could play Aurelia and something. So yeah, we'll just put the opponent to 11 for now. No need to do anything else. Yep, we'll just resolve that. So many acclaimed contenders. At this point, it's probably going to be... Oh, no, it wasn't an Embercleave. Man, I'm wondering, do we just take more acclaimed contenders here? It's bigger than all the creatures the opponent has. We still have 2 removal cards in hand for the couple of creatures they do have. Fervent Chant probably doesn't punch through anything, so yeah, and we have plenty of mana, so sure. Yeah, like you said before, Disenchant's good. I think you're right, Sandman. I mean, that it may just be that simple. Yep. One does that again. Come on, small creature. Come on, small creature. They still have Bellhaunt. Hero Precinct 1. They gain some life from that guy. We don't really care that they gain life from that guy, really. Alright, this is kind of what we were looking for. So that's another creature that's hard to deal with. Plus this. I mean, Bellhound's going to cost us a creature. It's fine. I mean, we're probably discarding the Acclaim Contender, then using Noctis Grasp and Murderous Rider next turn. Then probably some combination of Aurelia, Embercleave the next 2 turns. Ah, jeez. More? Alright. We're grinding. Well, I guess the good news is at this stage we know all the cards in our opponent's hand, so we're just going to go ahead and play Aurelia. We're going to go ahead and kill this. I'm going to keep a land in hand so we have something to discard to the Bellhaunt. And then we'll just kill the Bellhaunt and play that. Or possibly just play Embercleave and try to finish this. Okay, if we attack with just Aurelia, we can't truly Embercleave efficiently. I mean, they've played 3 Kaya's Wrath and a Doom Foretold already, right? Yeah. And a Mortify. 2 Mortify. So, I mean, we've gotten a big chunk of the removal out of their hand already. I think the play is do this. I mean, yes, they can't block, whatever. And the reason I'm doing this is because ultimately we're just going to play the Murderous Rider this turn anyway. And then if they don't have the removal, then we just start gaining a bunch of life, and then that's how we can outpace their deck. Gosh dang, they had the other Mortify too. Jeez. Alright. I mean, I'm doing all I can here. I mean, there's only so much we can ask out of the deck at this point, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll still have 2 mana left over to play a creature. Look at that. I mean, you know I got it, so whatevs. I mean, I'm gonna gain 6. And they put it on the bottom, so that's good for us. I mean, they can't have that many removal cards left, right? We've seen 3 Kaya's Wrath, Doom Foretold, 3 Mortify. I mean, we got to be getting down to it. Let's... I want to play this, because if we find the other Murderous Rider, we can just kill that. That's fine, I guess. I mean, I don't know. If they got it, they got it. I'm just going to go for it. You're probably going to split up your blocks anyway. We can make this 8. Blah, blah. That still only kills 1 thing. You could split your blocks. Sure. The opponent has chosen to make some interesting blocks here. I don't hate any of them. What can the opponent draw here that we care about? I mean, I guess nothing, as long as we have Embercleave. We don't really care. Oh, that's not true. Or probably, well, I don't know. It's likely they have more Basilica Bellhaunts left than they have removal cards. Hey, Thindon, welcome, welcome. We're punching through with this Mardu Knight's ridiculous thing, but seem to be getting the job done. Okay, I don't think the Devout Decree helps them here. I mean, they just scryed, put some in the bottom, they scry again, but they're exactly 4. They can make 2, 3, 4 worth of toughness, and then we trample for the other 4. I mean, their hand's empty, so here it comes. Yep. I agree with all these things, opponent. Oh, actually, they won't die, because technically they will gain 4. So, yes, that makes sense. They do get, technically, 1 more turn. Oh, they gained 3. Sorry. Yeah, I guess. Just put that in tapped. I mean, opponent has to draw literally just removal and nothing else here, but then they just die eventually the turn they don't get it, so. Man, those were 3 long. We raced through our first matches, and that one was super long. But again, it's that type of deck. I mean, we knew it was going to be tough. Alright, so let me get Le Gamer Doge. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Gamer Doge. Let's see what I've got here code-wise for you. Oh, and see if there's something in standard I'm not thinking of. And let's see. Artifact or enchantments, and we'll need something that's white, red, or black. At most these colors, and standard. Yeah, if you're not using Scribefall, by the way, it's easily the best search engine for Magic cards. It is super cool. Again, not sponsored or anything, but just sharing information. Oh no, Duck, is this how we're gonna go down for our second loss? No! Not like this. Well, I mean, we can play our cards. Aurelia, away you go. Oh man, Inspiring Champion, away you go. Don't make me regret this deck. Okay, so just black and they sacked for a land. That doesn't tell us anything other than the fact that there's a realistic chance that it's a food deck of some kind. Though, that being said, it could just well be like Golgari Adventure or something. Oh, well, that's not at all. It was even on our radar, so that changes things entirely. I guess knowing what we know, let's do this. And then I'm just doing this just so we have some bigger damage post board sweeper of whatever kind happens. Okay, so ultimately, whatever we played would have met the same fate anyway, so it doesn't greatly matter. That's unfortunate, because we're only going to be able to play the Murderous Rider straight up. I think here we just attack. And we hold on to all this damage. And maybe try to line something up during their end step. Because the opponent just... Oh, another Kaya's Wrath. Well, that's poopy. Alright. For sure, opponent. Guess it's good I held on to this mess. And again, I would like to do more here, but I'm kind of just assuming there's a sweeper in our future. Though this looks like just black-white control of some sort. So if that's what this is, I'm going to assume this card's not going to do a whole lot in this match. I was hoping maybe there was some way we could get that on the table with this, and then maybe Embercleave the following turn, but we'll just see what we can do. This is probably doom foretold in our future where we start to cry. Hushbringer. Do we even care about Hushbringer? I mean, interesting choice from the opponent to play that main, but yeah, we don't. I mean, they block and gain a life. It's not the worst thing. I mean, we're never going to play this any other way, so we might as well. Then at least gives us the option to get a reasonable Embercleave going. Yeah, it looks like there's not a lot of good choices. There's like Disenchant, Exposed to Daylight, and that's really about it. I mean, if you want the option of destroying artifacts or enchantments, you know, if you want that flexibility. But there's really not much else. It's very kind of sad. Alright. Well, of course, now I'm drawing all the black mana, so... Alright, we attack. We can get 3, 4, 8, 9. Put the opponent at 2. This and this could still potentially be a winner the following turn. Opponent still has a lot of cards in hand, though. And that's a bit unnerving. But at least this way they have to have a sweeper. Well, that's not true, because they could attack with Hushbringer first. And then kill the Bone Crusher Giant. So, I mean, that's an option. Oh, I guess you're right. Then it does stop the... Okay, so there's that guy. Though they'll gain 3 life, but then we get to tap it. So, like, okay... But in combat on your turn, your opponent sacrifices a creature. If a player does, tap the troll. So, yeah, we just, right? I mean, I guess. This deck's cool. I mean, Hushbringer Troll is pretty sweet, right? Like, I mean, and what's funny is I was kind of like poo-pooing the Hushbringer, but now I'm like, oh, I totally see what you're doing. That's kind of hot. Hey, Hash, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Sparks Games, also welcome. Hash, you also look like you are new to the stream, so if you have not gotten a code from me previously, just let me know and I will get you hooked up with a little something something. I mean, if we attack with Fervent Champ, does that just make sure the opponent dies? Because, I mean, one's going to trample here. They're going to... Yeah, I think the first strike just kills them either way. Because then the first strike for 4... I'd actually... Yeah, there's no way... What can they have for 1 mana? I mean... Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, I mean, I guess they could have, like... Gideon Sacrifice? Because I've considered playing that card recently. Alright, they didn't have anything. Yeah, Hash, we'll get you set up with something here. It's perfect. I actually have the exact thing you need if you haven't played Magic and are just getting back. Got a little something for you. Give me a quick second. Let's do this. there you go, Hash. Check your messages. And that's totally free for you. Guess you could be cool and throw me a follow, but you don't have to. It's all yours. Do what you will with those. I hope they serve you well. Well, I definitely don't want Hushbringer if the opponent's doing those kind of shenanigans. And I don't know if we want Noxious Grass for, like, oh, do we want Giant Killer for Trolls? Yeah, I'm taking Fervent Champ out for sure. Because the opponent's deck is wild, man. I'm probably getting rid of these Black Lance Paragons, too. Oh, that's true. You do get that. Also, again, since you brought it up, it's a good point. If you have a free Prime subscription, if you have Amazon Prime and you have Twitch Prime, which gets you a free subscription every month to sub to any streamer you want. Obviously, I would like you to sub here, but if you don't, sub to somebody, because if you don't, Amazon just gets to keep money in their pocket, and that's just kind of silly when you could give it to somebody who's entertaining you. I guess we're going to play Noxious Grasp. I don't even think I totally want Giant Killer, but alright. We're going to see what this does. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, you can definitely boot camp or parallels or whatever. There's a few ways you can play on there. When I was over at Wizards, the laptop I had was actually a Mac, and I tested and played the early versions of Arena on it, so it's totally doable. Also, if I can pump myself up, if you would like to subscribe to the channel and be eligible for our monthly plus almost bi-monthly soon drawings, then yeah, subscribe, because we have giveaways that we give specifically just to our subscribers. And we also do other giveaways just randomly to anybody who's in the chat. So if you follow, you won't miss any of the fun around this place. And you won't miss people getting to play oddball cards like I play around here. Haha, Legion's End only got the one thing. You got so much value. Doom for Toll is still going to be a pain in the butt when the opponent plays it. Though I don't even know if they play Doom for Toll, because if they're playing, like, Troll, they would just give us extra dudes, but then we couldn't sack the tokens, because Doom for Toll doesn't let you sack tokens. So, I don't know. That's an interesting thing to think about. So amused, too. We ended up just straight up playing Murderous Rider. You just bash a bunch. Oh, yeah, you're welcome, Hash. Like I said, I hope those go to use. Oh, thanks for the follow. Cool, cool. I'm just gonna straight up play the Bone Crusher Giant, because whatever. Like, I mean, if they have something to do to it, so be it. Alright, we're gonna bash. Alright, I'm gonna try to get the opponent here. When they play Clackbidge Troll, I'm gonna try to kill the Hushbringer. See if this works. Boom! Got him! We got goats. I mean, they're going to get life and all, but that Clackbidge Troll is going to do no damage to us. You know what? Insult to injury, I'm just going to attack with my goats. Because I can. And I have no idea if the opponent's even playing Wraths or not at this point, because, I mean, they're playing Trolls and Hushbringers. I don't know what's going on. Oh, smarts by the opponents. Do I wish to sacrifice a creature? This time it's a good question, actually. No, I don't. Bash away if you like with your Clackbridge Troll. I don't think you have the stones. Okay, you call my bluff. They did have the stones. So funny. Oh! Alright, cool. Man, I need an air horn that I could play there. Yeah, we're gonna play this while we have a chance and see if we can find something cool to put in our hand. Well, Embercleave's the only thing we can take, and that qualifies as cool for sure. So we're gonna get in here with this and get a little bit of life back, because, you know, seems a good thing to do. Oh, Ritualist, huh? That's unfortunate. Lucky for us, we have a giant killer that knows how to carry an Embercleave. Boom. Oh, this was kind of all the goods here. Neither of these dies, but I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if we do that. I kind of like this idea, right? They don't have to play a real sweeper. They just play a ritual set because it kills the goats. I'm kind of enamored with my opponent's deck. I gotta be honest. They did a pretty good job here. I'm sort of digging this. I love the opponent was deciding which is better. But I mean, the Stormfish Crusader at least gives them a card, so that kind of makes sense. Yep. And then you make you a 2/2. Oh, well, I will not be playing that, because that's not good for us at all. Let's... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ew, I wouldn't have enough to play that. So, I think the plan here is just play this. And that kind of works. Sort of. Or another Acclaim Contender is actually fine, right? Because then that lets us find an additional creature. Or do we just want bigger creatures? The opponent's only at 11. I think another Acclaim Contender is what we want. Because there's also a chance we could just find another one anyway. Okay, well, that's kind of weird how that works, but we'll see. Oh, they got a second Absolution. Dang. Alright, well, that might be the end of the game. Ugh, that really hurts. Not gonna lie. Eesh. Eesh. Oh, man. Alright, so even if we Embercleave, we're only really trading 1 for 1. I don't think that's that beneficial for us. I mean, the opponent seems to think they want to, but I don't know what that really means for us. Put that in tapped. I think we equip, and then we'll play this just to let it die next turn potentially, so we can just use this. Ah, and a glass casket. Jeez. At all the outs. Oh yeah, now we're dead for sure.
Lord
Yep.
of Innistrad.
All right, man. No, because that guy. It doesn't matter, Hash, because the Knight Champion would have got a -2/-2 anyway, and that would have died. And then all the other creatures would no longer have had +1/+1, and they would have died. So ultimately, it would have been the same thing. We actually were better off because we got the Acclaim Contender, but kind of just went nowhere after that. So it is what it is. What we actually needed was a Rotting Regisaur, and then we could have put the Embercleave on that, and we could have won. But we didn't draw it. Yeah, I think we're just going to go with this and keep it. And just... yeah, what even... I mean, their hand was good, but they drew sick on those last 3 turns. I mean, that was... I wouldn't say as good, but it was real close to perfect for them there toward the end. And I did mulligan once, so that's a benefit to us. I mean, the opponent does have a weird deck, too, where, I mean, they do have to gamble on some of their draws, right? Because if they have a bunch of 3, 4, 5 cost things with, like, trolls and, you know, whatever, it's like, well, maybe that's the best thing for them. I'm going to play Inspiring Veteran here. And then maybe, depending on how the land comes up, if we get a red land, we could use this and this. If not, we'll probably just play Acclaim Contender, truthfully. We actually don't mind that. That's one of our lesser creatures to really end up with, so it's kind of okay. Gonna play this just for the value options, really, because we have this in hand. However, though, this is probably about to die to a... Oh, nope. I was going to die to a Othakaya. And the opponent's deck is just a pile of removal at this point, but, you know. Alright, we're just going to play this for no value, just to have a 3/3 and fight with it. I mean, we're in a weird situation because our hand's almost all removal too, so not a lot we can do. Yeah, we need a red land, really. No need to play the Giant Killer just as a Giant Killer, so... of course, now we're going to draw a red land when we could have used that to kill it, but... Oh, no, because that would have been amusing, though. I like this now because they do actually have an Othakaya. It's not going to be ideal for them. They're going to have to mortify this bad boy. Sure. I mean, Soren's probably soon to be in our future, but... And we'll be regretting not having those back, but hey, you know, sometimes life's tough. Yeah, it is. It's some type of Orzhov control. I don't know, man. Resolve, sure. I have goats. Yes, I would like to... No, I don't want to tap your thing, because I'm just going to Giant Killer it. Why give you life? Yeah, I'll take my beating. Yeah. And then I'm actually gonna shoot the opponent, since they probably don't have much else I can kill, just to grow the knight a little bit. Then if they wipe our dudes out, we just empty our hand. Okay, well that plan's not gonna work. Oh, no, 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 no. Auto tapper. Boo on you. Auto tapper's so silly sometimes. No attacks. The goats are going to stay home this time. Okay, now we will be making use of these goats here. We will gladly trade 3 life for some goats. What? Where did that come from? What the... What is this? What? Like, out of nowhere? I mean, I don't even know. Taking 3 a turn is going to kill us, truthfully. But, I mean, we kind of don't have a choice if we're going to try to win. 3 would put them at 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then they'd be dead during our next upkeep unless they just drew a Ritual Asset or something. Yeah, sure. I think this is a bad. We just drew a bad set of cards here. We needed almost anything else. Alright, well. Guess we need to draw Murderous Rider. Is there one shot at it? Or the other giant killer? This is what I get for being ballsy and not sacking that other goat earlier. Yep, we lost that one. My hubris got the best of me. No, that's totally my... Even then, though, I would have bought one more turn, but it would have made a difference because I would have had the creature there, so... well, we took a loss. But actually, that's my misplay, so I can't blame that on anything. We do get to play first. We only got to... Of these, this is 8 matches. Well, we played first in 3 of them, so the odds aren't that bad. Oh, well, this is an ugly way to get to finish the night. We did not need to see that. Oh, well. We'll do what we can. Alright, so I think the play here is just Fervent Champ, get in for 4, get in for 4 again if they don't have a giant, and then let your creatures get swept. During their end step, play a Black Lance Paragon. Then try to follow up with Inspiring Veteran and see what happens. I mean, all we can do is hope to put them low enough that even after they get their big creatures, if they play fires on turn 4, they'll at least be afraid enough to not go all out on it. I mean, not going to do it if they don't have the sweeper, then this is our mistake, but kind of give ourselves the best odds even as though they have it. Because during their end step, if they don't, if we play that, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still put them at 1. So that wouldn't really get the job done on its own anyway. Oh, that's cute. Well, let's see. We can play both of these. I would attack for 3, 4, 5. I don't think I necessarily want to do that, though. Let's get in for 3. We might be able to surprise the opponent. I'm going to take one of these. In the off chance we get them low enough that incidental damage could get there. I mean, they may just as soon play fires and then another Deafening Clarion here. Which wouldn't be unreal. I mean, there's also the possibility they just decide Teferi's good enough. And then, but they are getting the land here first, so it's a good chance it's just fires and something about to happen. Oh no, just prison realm. Okay. That actually we don't hate too much. They bottomed, so they didn't like whatever it was. So I like this to attack 4. And then I'm willing to do this just because I have enough threats that even if they do get some things, we can get in under them. Because I feel like if they had another Clarion last turn, they would have just played that and got my creatures instead of playing a Prison Realm. They could have got a twofer, which is much more beneficial for them. Okay, well, now they're going to go try to find the Deafening Clarion, which they probably got. Yep. Which is why we play the cards in the order that we play them. Alright. In the turn. If they... I mean, they don't have fires, obviously, because they would have just played that, I think. Though, I don't know. They had to Shimmer to hunt, so maybe they did. We get to Bone Crusher them for 2. On our turn, play the Bone Crusher.
Sorry I'm late.
Alright, let's draw another Bone Crusher. Or even a Fervent Champ would be cool. I could live with that. I'm not greedy. Come on, deck. Any of those things are great. That's cute to have. I mean, it doesn't do much because we need 6 mana with Fairy on the table. So, definitely not the card we want in this matchup.
Don't worry, I got this.
I really wish they would have just played a Fires here. That would have been great. Because then they wouldn't be able to do anything on our turn. Now we kind of have to worry about a lot of things. Oh, but they didn't have it. Alright. So we did pretty good there, surviving multiple sweepers and whatnot. So we got what we wanted. And we get to be on the play in the third game, which is also good. Problem is, like, Noxious Grasp is only really good in this matchup if you know they're playing Kinrith. If they're not playing Kinrith, then it's not that great, because usually the only other target you have is Teferi. But, depends on how many cards you think actually aren't any good in this matchup, too. Because, like, Bone Crusher Giant's actually kind of mediocre. You don't really have much you can target, other than Teferi and just the opponent. So if you had better cards, there's definitely things to play, other than that. But, I mean, even here, if we wanted to gamble, we could, like, take out the Bone Crushers, bring in... I don't know. I mean, even Hushbringer doesn't do much, because if they have the Blue Cavalier, they're just going to block anyway. Or the Sphinx. So it's kind of lame-o. I don't know. Maybe we leave just the 2 Bone Crushers in. I kind of want to go with Noxious Grasp, though, just in case, really. Because if it goes long and they do have a Kinrith, then that could be bad. Though, you know, because we made the changes to the deck, if we cut a land, maybe we do just put in another Rotting Regisaur. Maybe that's just the answer. Yeah, I'm trying, Soul Vixen. We'll see if we get there. Getting real close. Oh, Sandman. Is he still on the channel or did he leave? Because I found out the issue with the emote. It doesn't work the way we thought it worked. So we were all of the assumption, myself included, that if you spend the points and get the emote, then it just gives you the emote permanently. What it does is you put an emote there and unlocks the emote for the session, is what it actually does. So I just rebuilt it, reduced the cost to 300 so it's easy for people to get, and then you have an additional emote that you can play with while you're in the channel. I don't know how I feel about this, because we could just, I mean, okay, we'll keep it. I don't think this is great. Ah, there you are. I mean, the only reason I'm keeping this hand is I can do some stuff at instant speed within their turn and whatever, but ultimately I think we're just going to end up in a weird situation if they have... Oh gosh, I kept all 3 on top? Oh, we're getting brutalized this game, y'all. Okay, we'll get the bad joke queued up after this. Yeah, this is just going to be bad, y'all. I don't know what we're going to do. I really don't. Like, when the opponent scries and keeps all 3 cards on top, like, that has to be one of the worst things to happen to you. And I assume this is just them having a stomp here, but like, what are we gonna do? Okay, this is at least interesting. Hold on. Deafening Clarion fires. And we do... this is interesting, because we can get them to play the Deafening Clarion. Oh, man, how badly do we care about the fires at this point if all they have is the Sphinx? I mean, I feel like we're gambling hard if we do that, but... man. Oh, this feels so gross. I am going to get rid of this and hate myself later. I mean, the goal here is to entice the opponent to use their removal to get rid of one of these on their turn. And then we get Rotting Regisaur and hope that gets us there, because the opponent's hand's kind of empty. Oh, they drew Solar Blaze. Son of a... I have some choice words. I got to be careful with my language there. God, that's so bad. That is so bad. Man, that did not go well. Man. God, that was so rough. How sick is that they drew that right afterwards? Like, oh man. That is makes me hurt inside. I think we go ahead and play it. Hope to draw a white land so we can just clear that guy out of the way. We didn't. We failed at so many things. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, no. Like, this is rough. See, this is like when we have the cards to do what we want, and we just... the wrong color doesn't let us get there. Okay, the good news is they did play that. Bad news is they get to scry, and they left it on top. So it's probably either something to draw cards, or it's a Cavalier. I would just be willing to safely make that assumption. Now, the good news is... we did get to 3 mana, or 6 mana, and we do have white left, so that much is good. And we'll just pass. Mostly because as much as we want to be able to kill the Sphinx, if this card on top is like a... okay, it's a Cavalier, not the Cavalier I was expecting, but the Cavalier nonetheless. Let's go ahead and kill it. They left those on top, and they draw. I mean, I don't mind that, because they were going to draw those 3 cards anyway, so they just crack. It's another one. Oh. I don't know what to do, guys. I mean, I made every possible good play I think I had available to us, and it just, I mean, like, wait, you know, ugh. I mean, it hurts. It's just painful, man. I don't know what to do with that. And then they get to scry here on top of it. I mean, the only thing we can hope is they get something that's not great on top in these next 4 cards. Okay, they put them both on bottom. They're probably going to scry during their upkeep because that's what I would do. They put that on the bottom. They get to scry again. So they're looking at 5 extra cards this turn before they draw. And then I guess we get lucky. I mean, if we get an Embercleave, we got a chance. If we don't, we're probably dead. Oh, and they kept them both on top. Sick. I mean, we can keep ourselves from dying. Oh, well. Maybe not. Alright. That was not an Embercleave, so I think we are dead, skis. Yeah. Because there's really no way we can win now. Because even if we get Embercleave and they were to leave one creature back, we'd only be able to do 16, and the one creature would block at least 3, so we'd be 13, and then we just die on 2 attack steps. So yeah, we're dead. Man, that was unfortunate. Like, we got a good duress, got what we wanted. Then they drew the Solar Blaze. And then we got the white mana right in time to be able to use the Giant Killer. Got rid of the Blue Cavalier, and then they drew another one right after it. I mean, whew. Man, I don't even know. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I don't even know what to do with that. That just, well, that just all kinds of hurts inside. All right, the way the games went, I'm going to assume we don't need those. And then I'm just going to bring Embercleaves back in. And I think we're just going to go for it, as is, just see what happens. I think we need to have an early start, and if we don't get it, we're just in trouble, you know? I think the ideal play would be like a turn 1, turn 2, a couple of turn 3 plays with the option of playing a duress. Would probably be perfect, but this doesn't look like we're going to get that. And I'm going to mulligan because that hand not having white mana is gross, and this one's worse. And we will keep this because we kind of have to at this point. But this hand doesn't do much of anything, sadly. The opponent did mulligan at least once. They're taking 2. So we're going to get rid of Aurelia because we're probably never going to cast that. And probably one of these just so we can hold on to a Murderous Rider and hopefully have it later when we need it. I mean, our goal here really, though, is just draw a turn 2 creature and then a land. But, you know, we'll take what we can get. Yeah, I think if he wouldn't have had the Solar Blaze there, the game would have definitely been completely different. Almost if they had any other type of land or anything there too, but you know, that's Magic. I mean, you can't really be too upset about it because, I mean, they put the cards in the deck to draw them. It'd be cool if he played a lot of Temple. That would help me out a lot. You don't like helping me. I see how you are. Well, unfortunately, they have a Stomp in hand, which is going to keep this from doing anything. Alright, we'll take that. Knowing these are going to go away. And then we're going to be living on Murderous Rider, unfortunately. Yep. Well, that was a cute pickup. Well, we have to take Time Wipe. So they have Vantress, Cavalier. Kind of sucks we're about to give them cards, actually. But we got to do something. I was gonna say, don't tell me the opponent drew sick again right after a duress. Like, that'd just be the ultimate bad luck. Alright, well, we're not drawing well ourselves, honestly. Kind of okay doing this, though, just as a creature, because if they have a sweeper, they have a sweeper. We got to be able to keep some damage in there. And incremental life could buy us a turn or two, especially when we're going to have to use this to kill something. And this protects itself from Solar Blaze a little bit, which is nice. Okay, now Rally is a thing here. This changes the narrative a little bit. Because now they're looking for a time wipe. And we have a little bit of blocking action and some stuff going on here, so this does change things. I'm going to put the damage here. Or the bonus, I should say. Again, because the life gain does matter a little bit in this matchup. And I don't want to take that for granted. And again, if they Solar Blaze, it doesn't do anything. Okay, they left one on top, one on bottom, so it must be a time wipe. Or, I guess it could be Fires of Invention and something in their hand. Shimmer to look for... I'm not even sure what they're looking for. Something to kill a Rally, I guess. Oh man. If anybody wants to spend some bits, get ready to queue up some GGs for the opponent. Or some applause buttons on the soundboard. Because if this goes through, oh man. Oh. Oh, that's awesome. Oh. Man. Oh, that was huge. Oh. Wow. Wow. Aurelia beats for the win. Woo. Very simple to figure out. Alright, so, good news. We have taken the deck from a few days ago being 63-ish%, I believe we were. And over the last few days, got up to 66%. So we are 19-10 now, which is good because if you take out that first day, the last 2 days we only had 4 losses. So those other 6 came early. Yeah, exactly. Night Owls and Australians. It's a good combo. Though some of the Australians I know are Night Owls themselves and do some partying out there. So, you know, they can probably handle that on their own. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's say, so we're 19-10. The percentages have also come up a little bit. We're still significantly better on the play than on the draw, which is a little bit of a concern still. But it does make sense that we're winning more on the play than draw. And a 6% thing is probably where it's likely going to be. I don't see that changing too much. But we already have 29 matches in with this deck, so I'm starting to feel better about it. Hey, Tokawe, how's it going? Okay. Hold on a second. I have an issue there with somebody with a code I'm going to take care of. Alright, took care of that, and then I need to take care of a code issue here for somebody. So let me do that. That'll be a couple of clicks here. I'll put that there. And then let's see. All right, we'll see if that works for everybody. All right, so the interesting thing is, okay, now that the season shifted, I don't know why, but we are seeing different decks, right? And this is kind of the reason I got away from playing Rakdos, because I think other people also realized that Rakdos was being targeted in a lot of ways. Because we're also seeing less of... I don't think we've even played we played Rakdos 3 days ago. We didn't play any in the last 16 matches that we've played. So that also tells us a lot, right? That other people are also real, at least other people playing in our same level of the ladder are realizing that it's so heavily targeted, you need to get away from it. It's also possible that other players were not making the changes that we made. So, Brass Hound, what is that? Is that a deck you have you want to look at later? Or have us take a look at? If so, we can take a look at it right after this. So, I think we made a good decision getting away from Rakdos. But again, it's possible that we made changes that were really good for us because we were one of the few people that were still pushing really hard with Rakdos toward the end. Hate when I'm typing and deleting and retyping and you're typing the same mistakes because your fingers won't cooperate. All right. But I don't necessarily want to totally give up on Rakdos. However, if our success stays very much the same where we've been with Mardu, and we're 6-2, 5-1, whatever each of the next couple of nights, I'll probably just run with it and hope for the best. Because some of it's going to be just dodging bad matchups, Oh, well, hey, Brass Hound. Welcome, aka Dark Soul. It's amusing. So, yeah, I think that we probably made the right decision. And that feels good, too, because we didn't spend a bunch of extra time working on Rakdos and kind of get ourselves into a corner. Though I like having it as a backup in case, because again, though it's almost 30 matches, it's still a fairly small sample size. Until we get to about 45, 50-ish, I'm not going to feel good about it. And then I won't feel great about it until we're probably at like 80 plus, but we're likely not going to get there before the next 3 or 4 days, unless I happen to play in the morning and then when I'm streaming in the evening. But I can tell you right now, I have things I got to do during the day right now, so that's not likely to happen. Matter of fact, I got behind on stuff today, so yeah. But yeah, blue-white control we've seen 3 times now in just the past couple of days, and that's a big concern. We've been able to deal with it, but it is something that if this is a thing, we may have to go heavier on the discard cards in the sideboard, or just find something else that, I don't know, something that turns into a creature or whatever that's just hard for the opponent to deal with. And I don't know, maybe Mizium Tank is the answer. I don't know, whatever crazy thing the opponent was playing. I mean, we just have to start looking at some of that stuff. Though, I don't know, I kind of like the idea of playing with the carriage because I kind of dig that for some reason. Getting a carriage and 2 mice, but I don't know. That's just me being too cute, I think. Also, Teamer Adventures. We've seen that a lot. That's 3 times now. Though we crushed it twice today, enough that we put the opponents in 2 spots where they were able to just concede early. So, I don't know what that means. And Just Guy Fires, though tough, we did manage to steal a win. So, we're finding ways. I think, though, that in the last match, we did see that there was a game we lost where we could have won that too, even if we just got our mana differently. We're able to play the Giant Killer in the right order the way we wanted to, and that could have been really good. So, I don't know, we look like we're crushing Teamer Adventures, which is good because that was more difficult with Rakdos. Can't necessarily put my finger on why, which bugs me a little bit, but whatever the reason, it seems to be getting it done. Actually, all the adventure decks. I don't think we've lost to one of them yet, actually, so far. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We beat 7 matches down. That's pretty good. Mono Red, we've now played twice and beat them twice. And again, I don't think that surprises me as much, though, because we can play so many creatures and go wide that our incidental removal, plus having 3/3s that we can throw in front of them or bigger, is enough to just stop those decks in their tracks, and I think that's pretty good. Orzhov is a tough deck. Wait, did we? I thought we lost that one. Oh, weird. They labeled it as Orzhov Knights. That's weird. I'm just going to label this as Orzhov in general, just for our notes, though. They're not the same, because obviously the others were true Orzhov control, and this one was more like weird Orzhov. I don't even know what you want to call it. Clackbridge troll and all that. So it's a bit different. And again, there was a chance. I don't know if we'd win that match. I could have made a play differently to at least buy us 2 to 3 more turns. And there's a shot it wins. There's a shot it doesn't. We don't really know. But that deck seems like it's on the fringes. So unless we run into it a couple more times over the next 2 days, I'm not really going to be concerned with it. That's just a weird anomalous deck. My concern would be the blue-white control decks and the Jeskai Fires decks. Though we did manage to steal a win from each of these, over the next 2 days, this is where I'm going to be focusing most of my attention. I think this is where we have the most to gain in our problem spots, because when you're talking about something like the Mythic Qualifier, you could get a lot of people that just like playing the hype deck or the deck from a few weeks ago that they just happen to know well, which could be Fires. Probably not so much blue-white control, but possibly. But definitely on Fires. And if they do, we're going to need a few more things. Because again, you're trying to get 10 wins before 2 losses, so you don't have a lot of wiggle room. So and you're already trying to fight the variance of just the bad draws and everything else that comes with that. So it's a little tough. And I'd like to have something, and I don't know what it is. I'll probably sit through and I may ask a couple people like, hey, if you were playing this deck, what would you want to sideboard against these 2 matchups or whatever? Again, maybe we try some stuff that just removes artifacts or enchantments. Maybe it's just straight up disenchants. Maybe it's the, whatever that other card was that I found, Exposed to Daylight. That could work. I mean, there's a few things, but it's tough. You know, we're finding ways to win, and we're getting there, but I don't feel good about it. Otherwise, the other stuff, we've only played Gruul once. We only played Jund Sacrifice once. We've played Soul Tide Food once. So, like, I mean, though, this is a concern. If you look here, those all 3 are various types of Golgari decks. So that is something to keep in mind. That if our weak spots are literally here, where you're talking about the 2 control decks and then Golgari decks, then maybe we have to consider playing an additional Noxious Grasp and then some other somethings. I don't know what something is yet. And then forego another card in the sideboard. Right now, if I were to look at it and say, what should we cut? Like, the cards that maybe go are probably Legion's End. Because if you're looking at the decks we're facing, like, Legion's End isn't any good against blue-white control, Jeskai Fires. It's okay against Teamer Adventures. There's like 2 creatures I think we could target with it. Jund Adventures, same thing. Grixis Invention, there's really nothing I think we can get. It's actually solid against mono red, so can't complain about that. But I think we're somewhat favored in that matchup anyway. And then on down the line. So I don't know, it's just things like that to look at. I think that's why I like doing things at the end of the session, so we can kind of talk about, and again, I want to give people information to not just say, okay, here's a deck list, go do this. Here's the sideboard guide, go do this. Like, here's what you want for these matchups. What I'd like to give people is just ideas and concepts and the explanation as to why I like certain things or don't like certain things. So when you go to make that decision, whether it's playing on Arena or you go to your local F&M or whatever it is, and you have to make a decision on the fly, you can make it with certain logic. Because even as we saw here, like, there are certain cards that, you know, if you just saw a list and said, okay, against Orzhov, you sideboard this way, then you run into that crazy thing that's got the Clackbridge Troll and whatever else. Well, I obviously had to sideboard differently there than sideboarding against the Orzhov control deck. So it's a matter of what's the understanding, why is each card in there, what are the weaknesses, blah, 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 you know, understanding all that to let you make those decisions in the middle of a situation. So anyway, that's my bit there. But anyway, yeah, I'm happy with the deck so far. I mean, we had 2 nights in a row of 6 and 2. I want to say thanks for watching the video, and remember to please like, subscribe, and comment, because that helps a bunch. And if you want to keep up with me and my shenanigans, always feel free to follow me on Twitch and on Twitter, where we're just as active. Thanks. See you next time.